It's a Led Zeppelin song. Yesterday I saw you kissing tiny flowers, but weren't those tears that filled your eyes?
Yeah, why are you stalking her?
Huh?
Why were you watching the girl?
What?
Why were you watching the girl kiss tiny flowers?
It's a song. The guy singing it is singing it to the girl, like every dude that writes every song. There's only one reason to write a song. It's to get the girl. It's not a random girl. It's a girl. Oh my God.
But she was crying.
Why was she kissing him?
Oh, I thought you were going to walk like last time.
Look it up.
I think it's from Going to California.
What?
Then can we watch
The song Going to California. Yesterday I saw you kissing. No, it's not from Going to California. I'll remember later.
I stalked a girl and I saw her.
No, it's not about stalking. Just you people that were born in the 20th century, in the 21st century. It's not always creepy.
It's always me.
No, I'm not recording it. Oh, I am recording. And all the fish that lay in dirty water dying, had they got you hypnotized. It's the same song.
Sounds more like about fish dying.
Damn. Okay. So a great many of you, of course, probably did this the way you were taught in like the 4th grade, and you probably turned it into improper fractions.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did this one?
Yeah, on the video.
All right. That's on the video. All right. We'll carry on then. Except we won't because my computer's frozen. Because it's the height of technology.
Do they just keep giving you like worse and worse computers?
No, they keep giving me better and better computers that perform more and more poorly. Actually, I don't need the air quotes for that. They just perform more and more poorly. They gave me a new projector, too. It performs more and more poorly.
Actually?
Yes. That's why this is plugged in this year. Remember last year it was wireless?
Yeah.
It's called That's the Way.
That's the way, because that's the way. That's the way it's gotta be. Mama said that's the way it's gotta stay. That's a great song. If you aren't Led Zeppelin fans, first of all, you're dumb. And secondly,
I bet you half of the sauce doesn't remember what that
I've seen t-shirts.
I've seen t-shirts.
Hipster girls, my dad's got a cassette tape.
A cassette tape. I like how you said that. A cassette tape. Guns N' Roses was a good show. It was a good concert. It was the best concert they've ever done, even better than when they were good in the 90s, when I saw them last. All right. So let's look at this one. You guys said we did that one.
That was 8.
Oh, okay. Number 9. What the halibut? Oh, right. Sheriff's questions, because Taylor hates them.
Yeah.
Okay. What does this mean? Just this sentence. Sam.
It decreased by
1 share lost $1.27 on Monday. Okay? So a share isn't a thing, right? It's not like this box of cookies, but let's pretend it is. At the beginning of Monday, this box of cookies was $4.27. I bought it. I now have it in my hand. If I want to sell it to Blake, it is worth $4.27. Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, due to market conditions in the world, the Girl Guides made 1 million more boxes of cookies. Therefore, my value of this box of cookies dropped by $1.27. So at the end of day Monday, how much is this box of cookies worth? $3. Everybody understand? So I lost, because I have 1 box of cookies, I lost $1.27, right? If I had sold this box of cookies to Blake at the beginning of the day, I would have gotten $4.27 for it. But I waited till the end of the day, I sold to him, he got it for $3, I lost $1.27. Now I have 120 boxes of cookies. How much money did I lose?
$152.40.
Why?
Because you had
Minus $1.27 for each share, right? So I lost $152. It doesn't matter what they were worth originally. The question isn't asking that. The question is asking how much money I lost that day on that transaction. Now, fortunately, I bought some other cookies
Good.
that went changed by a positive number. So I made money on those cookies, right? How much did I make?
$271.70.
So this one was minus 152, blah, blah, blah. This one was 271, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's concept, not numbers.
Okay.
So I lost that much on my cookies, but I gained that much on my grapple grommets. Okay? So overall, how much money did I gain or lose? 119 point blah, blah, blah. Because I gained 270, but I lost 150. Okay? Picking up what I'm putting down?
Whoa,
Sweet.
it's glitching out.
Always is.
Whoa.
Nothing but high quality. Okay, now we're on number 10, yes? All right. Number 10 looks very, very easy, but a great many of you screw up questions like number 10 because you do not pay attention to detail. You say, I know how to do that, and you rush through it because you think you're getting bonus marks for finishing first. This is not the Olympics. You do not get bonus points for finishing first. Mind you, you also do not get bonus points for finishing dead last. Dead last. Dead last. Love you, Justin. I'm just kidding, right? Take as long as you need all the time. That right there does something, and all of you screw it up all the time. What does that actually mean, mathematically speaking? Do not tell me what to do. Tell me what it means. Amshu.
-1.
That means -1 times everything after that. Now, if you don't know what it actually means, I allow you to know the shortcut. What does it do? Multiplies through, which has what result? Sam.
It changes negatives to positive.
Changes
The sign.
the sign of everything. Everyone remembers, oh, it changes negatives to positives. But they often forget that it also changes positives to negatives. So what I really have is 9x squared plus 6x plus 5x plus 9. I know, it's also not being written on my screen. It will appear magically in a moment due to high levels of technology. Then minus 5x squared plus 4x plus 12. And then we collect our like terms. Squareds, x's, and constants. And I get 4x squared,
Plus
15x
plus 20.
plus 21.
Good job.
I like that you're at the front right now due to your enthusiasm at getting questions right. You may stay there longer than you think. I know it's okay. Now, this question is the exact same thing. Yet again, people screw it up. Because when you see this right here, you say to yourself, self, all the signs change. Because you don't actually think about what you're actually mathematically doing. So when we get to here, many of you will forget that negative sign. You see the 2 and you will multiply that 2 in there. Which is right, but there's also a negative. So what do I have to do to everything in there? Change the signs to negative 8x
Plus 12xy.
12xy
Minus 10x.
minus 10xz. Now, of course, you also need to remember that bedmass applies. Can you do anything in those brackets?
No.
No, of course not. They're not like terms. But you can do division. A great many of you will forget that this expression here, that 3x, has to go to all of them, just like it would if I was multiplying. So I end up with plus 3x
Minus 4xy.
4xy
Minus
6xz. And then I do my like terms again, just like before, even though it looks different. That is the kind of thing that starts happening in grade 10 and 11 and 12. Attention to detail. Things that look like one way, and up to grade 9, you've got to memorize what to do to make it look right on your page, as opposed to understanding what math you are doing. Does everybody understand what I am speaking of?
Yeah.
Knowing what to do is not knowing the math. All right? Okay. We are going to spend a lot of time making sure you guys know the math, not what to do. Because you've been spent the last 7 years of your life being taught what to do. When it looks like this, do this. When it looks like this, do this. When you're multiplying 7 by 9, do this and count your knuckles, right? Like all that horse crap. Forget it. You need to learn math, not what to do. Cool?
Yep.
Okay, so the answer, of course, is
Minus 5x.
minus 5x
Plus 8xy.
8xy
Minus
minus 16xz. Thank you for saying minus 16 and not saying 2 negatives make a positive, so it must be minus 4.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, you have been taught 2 negatives make a positive. So when you see a minus minus, many of you, even it,
But that's when you're multiplying.
I know that,
Some people.
but a great many people don't, Lauren. That's the problem. Same reason when I say this. What's negative 7 minus negative 7? See? No, it's 0. Okay. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just saying, if you get trapped in shortcuts, you look at something and you jump to the shortcut, right? We have to start avoiding that. And then the very last question, lasty. We'll get to it eventually. There it is. Trapezoid. My favorite name of a shape. Actually, that's not true. My favorite name of a shape is dodecahedron.
There's a dodecahedron.
It's a 12-sided figure.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, no, trapezoid. I enjoy the word trapezoid because it sounds like cool, even though it's not really. Zoid, yeah. Zoid's a fun word to say. Anyway, it's not really a word. It's a fun phoneme. It's not really a phoneme. It's 2 morphemes. See, I'm even a linguist. And a math teacher. I know, right? I didn't even take any linguistics at university.
You did?
No, I didn't. I had friends that took linguistics, and it interested me, so I would sometimes read their stuff. And then when you go to parties, you know just a little bit about it, and you ask somebody, what do you do? And somebody, let's be honest, you ask a girl, what do you do at school? And they're like, oh, I'm studying linguistics. And you're like, linguistics? Oh, so morphemes and phonemes. And then they think you know stuff, and then they start talking to you.
Oh,
That's definitely.
And then all you got to do is smile and nod at the right time. And then, I know. Have icebreakers for your audience.
good. Did you use that?
Maybe. All right.
And that's how I met your mother.
No, it isn't. I met my kid's mother by. Don't go to the mailbox on Father's Day. I met my kid's mother by being nice to my buddy's younger sister.
Oh.
I had a buddy. He had an attractive younger sister. He treated her like garbage. As all of you girls who have an elder brother, he treats you like crap.
No.
Sean wouldn't treat you like crap. Yeah, Sean's spectacular. Don't count him. But Alicia's brothers both treat her like garbage. Yes, they do. Lies. It's not what they say in this class. Anyways, he treated her like crap, so all I had to do was be nice to her.
Dang.
And now she's your wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
And your
I'm
buddy's
sure
your
your
brother.
buddy was very.
And my buddy is my brother-in-law.
High school buddies?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a, he's a good guy. Okay, so what do we know about this situation? That's why I did that. No video, only audio, buddy.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
What do we got? Sam.
2.5 plus 400 plus 2x equals 13.6.
Yeah.
Now, a great many of you right there are going to say, all right, I got this. Wait a minute, I don't got this. What do I got to do?
You gotta add like.
I would combine my like terms to get 6.8 plus 2x equals 13.6. Then I would subtract my 6.8.
2x is equal to 6.8.
Would equal 6.8, and then x equals 3.4. Now, what I want to stress this year, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that has come up with regards to the way you guys proceed in math class is not, again, so much the math, but starting to organize your thinking. You will notice that as I've been doing this math, I've been doing a few weird things, like keeping it in line, keeping my equals sign in a row, stuff that used to be super important. Like we would have teachers take off marks if our work wasn't organized.
Really?
Yeah. And then somebody said, that's stupid. We should only be marking math. You can do it however you want. Which sounds okay until you realize that if you start thinking that way, it applies to everything. Which is where we get creative spelling and things like that. Like when you spell the word hello with 6 M's and a silent Q.
What?
And nobody marks it wrong. It's Alicia. It's an example. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And those ways aren't necessarily, whether you get the results or not, isn't what's important. At your guys' level, getting the result is very important. But as you go further and further on, you get up to the whiteboards in Big Bang Theory that are covered with math. That's what university is going to look like for you guys. If you can't organize your work, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And little things like this that have nothing to do with the actual math will make your lives much easier. Especially next year if you're planning to go into IB, where your work is going to be marked by people from all over the world. It's not going to be your friendly neighborhood math teacher, Mr. DeVries. You're going to get your math marked by Mr. Najumi in the middle of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He is not going to know who you are. So if your work looks like a dog ate it, chewed it up, barfed it, and then did what dogs do, eat their own barf, and then pooed it out the other end, if your work looks like that, do you think Mr. Najumi in the Democratic Republic of the Congo is going to mark it?
No.
No. So start paying attention to stuff like that. Everybody cool? Sweet. And we're done. No need for applause. This is just what I do. So that stuff, by now, by the end of going over it, and by the end of talking about it, all that stuff on there, to really succeed this year, that's the stuff that needs to be automatic for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, these 12 questions, you should, in a perfect world, you would be able to rattle them off in about 5 minutes. No thought required at all. Everybody with me? Now, you're not really there yet because you've just had 2 months at least, if not 8 months off of math, yeah? And obviously, we're going to review all this stuff as we go through the year. And like all math, it builds upon old news, right? So the more we practice grade 10 math, doing these easy things, the easier it will come to you. But this is the stuff you got to be boom, boom, boom on, which is why it's right, in your Gamma Green books. So you can refer to it anytime you need to, because this is the stuff you got to just know. Everybody good? All right. Let's move it along. Everybody turn to your outline. Now, I have to make sure I have the right outline printed on here as opposed to the outline you guys have. I do not, because I am a bit of a dunderhead. I feel bad about that. But I'm going to fix it up right now. Your guys' outline should have a different spot only at number 4. Number 4 should say quiz. Now, obviously, a quiz does not take 80 minutes. But I know what I am doing. And right about here, people often say they need extra practice. So somewhere around quiz, we start making sure we're good on all this stuff leading up to there. Okay, it's not going to take the whole class. But I'm not doing anything new that day. Unless, of course, everybody's kicking ass, and then we'll just carry on. All right? Otherwise, these documents are at the beginning of every unit in your green book. So if you miss a day, you're not going to be here. I try to keep the names of the headings the same as the names of the videos, or close to it. I don't necessarily remember what it says, and I forget that I have them right here, and all I would have to do is click outline to see it, and I got to go by memory. And as you are all well aware, I am gray-haired and losing my memory daily, and I continue to play sports where I bash my head around, therefore making me stupider every Sunday. Yes. So, sometimes I forget. But these documents are useful. Use them. Now, the other thing I would like to point out is sometimes, as in right here, as in right here, as in right here, as in right here. Oh, I know it's frozen. As in right here. I'm just keeping a video evidence of how often it freezes, so when I finally lose my temper, before I throw it against the wall, I will walk down to the tech people, and I will say, gentlemen, could you please watch this video? And I'll choose one where I'm nicer about the technology than I usually am, which is never. And I'll show them what their, $3,000, $4,000, however many thousands of dollars they spent on these things, what it got them. Then, of course, I will go back on my YouTube to 2 years ago when I was using the piece of crap laptop that always worked and say, see how this one never froze and never crashed? It just wasn't as sexy as a Surface. What are you going to do? Anyways. No, because I've already dropped one off the table and they gave me a new one. That got a lot of views because when I kicked the cord and kicked it off the table and it fell and broke the screen, I swore pretty loudly.
Did you actually?
Oh, yeah. Huh? I don't take anything off YouTube, but I highly doubt you're going to watch 400 videos to find out which one it was. I don't know when it happened.
Yeah.
It's not the one with the most views because 3 years ago a girl had a lot of food here and I got really, really mad at her. And that got like 300 views.
Oh, did you swear at her?
No.
Oh, okay.
Swear at kids, please. I call your attention to those. Sometimes that looks like a textbook page. You don't have a textbook. What happens there is I got the pages from whichever textbook I wanted, and they're in your green book as well, with a heading. So if you flip to a page in your don't do this, but later on it'll say like page 227 in here, and if you flip in your green book to there, there'll be a page that says page 227 with the numbers on it. Cool? But this one doesn't actually exist because, like I say, I have a different outline printed here than what you guys have. So, but what I will tell you is if you are new to the class, the reviews are assignments. Those are things always, every chapter that will be marked 4 marks. Not like quizzes and not like homework checks. Okay? Sometimes I'll throw an assignment into the middle here. Just depends on the unit. If it's a really long unit, like when we get to trig in grade 10 is really, really long, and it's got 3 kind of separate components to it. So there'll be 3 separate assignments for that long unit. Everybody with me? Okay. I think that's all the background you guys need for right now. So let us get started, please. Your page 11, my page 11, Math 10 measurement. I don't think you have my cool fontdiner.com sparkly. You do?
It looks like Disney.
What?
It looks like Disney.
Oh, it's called Sparkly. And it's from fontdiner.com. It's one of my favorites. I like it a lot. Which font? That's fontdiner.com Sparkly. Which one? The regular typing one? It's probably Calibri or Times New Roman.
Or Arial.
Something lame. No, it's not Arial.
Oh.
I hate Arial. Because Arial writes its A's like that, like you print in a hand.
You don't like that?
No, I like my A's to look like they look in a book, like that. But that has always bothered me that we teach kids to write A's like that when we're printing in kindergarten. But every book they see has the A like that. And we never ask them to write A's like that.
It's like that. My teacher would like mark my spelling wrong, like for French.
I think it's like that, but they took too long.
See, that type of thing pisses me off.
Exactly.
That makes me so angry. I've had many fights with many elementary school teachers about things like that. That's not really true. It's not a fight. I just realized that if that's really what's important to you, then come teach in my math class where I ask a kid what 7 minus 12 is, and they have to, I don't know. But I bet they can really write neatly, -5. Because in elementary school, that neatly written was what they got their marks for. I'm just kidding. It's not really like that. It's not really like that. All right. We are going to open with measurement. Why are we opening with measurement? Because I hate this unit and I want to get it out of the way. That's the only reason. Most of you will recognize the second half of this unit has surface area and volume in it, which you did a bit of in the 9th grade. The first half of this unit describes measurement and systems thereof. The world is divided into 2 systems of measurement. What are they? Blake.
Metric and imperial.
Imperial is correct. Metric is wrong. That's okay. We're going to deal with imperial first, but first I have to spell it correctly. And every time I say the word imperial, I must, of course, do the imperial march. Dum, 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 da, dum, dum, da, dum. Why do I use dum, dum? Because it's the most idiotic way of measuring anything in the world. And there's only 3 countries out of the 192 countries in the United Nations that use that system. But because those idiots do, and we're attached to them, we have to learn it too. Even though the only countries that use it are those idiots. And anybody know any of the other countries, Leighton? Liberia. And where? No. Myanmar. 2 of the most backwards countries in the world, and the United States.
And we sort of use it.
So 3 of them.
Not by choice.
Yeah.
By necessity, because we're attached to them.
We still do use it.
Yeah,
so we're
we
using
do.
them.
All right, so the imperial system. Now, the next thing I would like to discuss is when we say measurement, what do we mean? Sizes of things? Okay, excellent. When you say, ask me my size, what could that refer to? Sam? Length, height, so distances. Excellent. What else? Blake? Weight. Excellent. My size in weight is, of course, exactly perfect. Carry on. What else? Leighton? Pardon? Temperature. Nobody in the other class said temperature. Nice job. Kayla? Yes, abso-smurfly. Another distance, though, isn't it? Because if we were to peel off your skin and lay it down flat, it would be the same distance, wouldn't it? Not that we peel off people's skin. I don't need to talk down there anymore. I have a microphone right here. I can rock the mic. Not that we peel off people's skin. All right. So, what was the point of that? We measure a lot of stuff, and we measure all that stuff differently, don't we? We can measure distances. And what are some imperial measurements of distance? Miles.
Inch, yard.
Miles. Feet. Inch. And I'm out of room. But there's a million. Inches. Yards. Right? Everybody cool? Sweet. Leagues.
What?
Is another one. Leagues. Like 20,000 leagues under the sea.
right.
Leagues. Anyways. Okay. And we also said that we measure. That's supposed to be a red line.
Not responding.
Yeah. I'll not respond you.
What?
No, it's a black line. Now it's erased. Now it's a red line. We also measure things like weight. What are some imperial measurements of weight? Leighton. Pound. What else?
Ounces.
Ounces. Everybody knows those 2. Anybody got another one?
Cups. Like when you're
Yes, absolutely.
So liters.
Cups?
No, yeah, gallons, yeah.
Kilograms?
Nope,
No.
not imperial. Not weight. Gallons are volume, which is what our next column's going to be. So put a pin in that. Yes! I love it when someone gets stone.
Stone. I never heard
14 pounds. Perfect number to measure to multiply by, right?
what?
I weigh 14 stone. 14 pounds times 14.
Oh, okay, that.
Because 1 stone is 14 pounds. Not 10. Not 15, 14. Because everybody's good with their 14 times table, right? No, of course not. It's idiotic. And then we add volume. Now in volume, we also have cups, don't we? Put in 3 cups of milk. That's volume, yes? What else do we have for volume? Pardon? Quarts. Pints. Blake, say it now. Gallons.
It's frozen.
I know it's frozen. All that's going to appear in a second. See? Ta-da! Wingardium Leviosa. It's not Leviosa. All right. Now, more importantly than how stupid it is for 14 and everything is what the imperial system is based on. What is it? Nothing. Nothing. That's a good way of putting it, Lauren, because it isn't based on anything that makes any sense. It's based on body parts. That's why a foot is a foot.
Oh, whoa, that's
They're all based on body parts.
Quote,
Or,
stones.
I'm getting to that. They're based on, the reason I start with body parts, because they are based on subjective things. It's not always the same, which makes it very, very difficult to measure things in the imperial system. It doesn't make any kind of sense. And yet, the Liberians, the Myanmarians, Burma, but you don't, it's Burma to the rest of the world, but to the people, the mean imperial army dictator in Burma says it's Myanmar now. To the Burmans and to the Americans, America, USA, USA. To them, this is the only thing that makes sense.
I'm so glad I'm not in the US anymore.
Now, what's the other one? Everybody called it metric. That's not what it really is. What is it really? System.
System.
Because it's en français. International.
I don't want to worry about
Parce que les Français invented this system of measuring. They invented it in the French Revolution. And they invented it in the French Revolution because they were sick and tired of paying taxes based on body parts. I'm serious. They were tired of paying taxes. They would bring their stuff through one duke's place, and they would have to pay taxes based on his idea of measurement. And then they'd go leave that guy's duchy and move into the next duchy and have to pay a different set of taxes because there wasn't a code of measuring. So one of the things that came out of the French Revolution, other than the guillotine and democracy and all those other cool things, was a system of measurement for the whole world that was simple and easy to use. And that is the System International. Since I do not like to say Système International, even though it allows me to laugh like a cheesy Frenchman, I do not say that. I say, and so does everybody else in the world, SI. Okay. That's what we mean. What is it commonly referred to as? Metric. Which is also the name of a really wicked Canadian band. If you're not aware of who Metric is, you should do yourself a favor and go home and YouTube them. They're really, really, really good. The lead singer is named Emily Haynes. She's awesome. I think it's Haynes. It's Emily something or other. Anyway, the metric system follows the same rules. Distance. What are some measurements of distance? km. Meters. Centimeters. Hey, wait a minute. Meter. Wow! I bet they're related. Oh, weight. What are some weights? Kilogram. Gram. Milligram. Hey, wait a minute. Gram. Hey, wait a minute. Kilo. Oh, no, it wasn't, but I like it. It is now. Wait a minute. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be, but I'm stealing it now. And volume? Pardon? Liters?
Milliliter.
Wait a minute, milliliters?
So,
Now, this is where it gets weird. You
So
have to
it's
think.
centiliters.
Wait a second. If you get kms and centimeters and kgs and mgs and millimeters, does that mean we can have kiloliters?
That's a lot. We do.
But we do. We just don't use it. Just because we don't use it doesn't mean we can't use it. For example, I will give you an example. A can of sody pop is how many milliliters?
360.
355, very close. In Europe, it is 36 centiliters.
Yeah, I knew it.
We don't use centiliters, but they exist because metric works for everything. That's why it's better. What's it based on? It is based on the meter, or it is based on the gram, or it is based on the liter. None of that matters because the important thing is the prefix. Kilo. And then does anybody know one below a kilo? Nope. You hear it when we're talking about forest fires in Canada. Hectares. Hecto. So a kilo is 1,000. Then what's hecto?
Yeah,
How do we count?
1, 2.
In what groups?
Oh,
What size of group?
1, yeah.
How do we count? Not hundreds. We count in tens, right? So if that's 1,000, logically, what is hecto? If we go by jumps of 10. 100.
What?
You said
No,
900.
he said 100.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 900. Then the next one is Deca, which is what?
10.
10. And then the base.
Uno. I'm just kidding.
Then we get into the smaller ones. What's the first one? What would be between meters and centimeters? Because centimeters are 100. We need a 10 in there, don't we? Deci. Yes. Deci. That's 1/10. Centi. Why is it centi?
Because he's sad. Sentimental.
Centi is 100 en français. Cent.
Oh.
So what's the 1,000? Milli. Because mille, M-I-L-L-E, is 1,000 en français. Now, we stop there. That's what we use. But does it carry on? Of course it does. You guys all have computers. What's after kilo? What's after kilo? Mega. What's after mega?
Tera. No.
Giga. What's after giga? Tera. What's after tera? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows because nobody has a drive bigger than a terabyte or two. But there is one. I just don't know what it is. I think it might start with a P, but I'm not sure. I think it might be petabyte. No, later. And does it go below milli? Yeah. What's next? Anyone know? What? No. One above nano. It's another M1. Micrometers. Then nanometers. Then what? Anyone know what's below a nano? Starts with a P. You're just saying sounds that start with P. Padoobly-pa. No. They're pico.
Oh, yeah.
And then below pico, I don't know, because that's like immeasurably small. All right, but that's what we use. No, a googolplex is 1 followed by 100 zeros.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you might be wrong. Sounds like something we should Google.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
All right, now the thing that is good about metric is it always works. If I have 1 kilogram, then I have 10 hectograms, I have 100 decagrams, I have 1,000 grams. I have 10,000 decigrams, I have 100,000 centigrams, and I have 1,000,000 milligrams. And it doesn't matter what the measurement is. Okay? If I tell you that Alicia is 1 kaboobly away from me, then 1/10 of that distance is a decikaboobly. Does everybody understand? It doesn't matter what you are measuring. That's why the metric system is the more sensible system, because no matter what, you're just adding zeros or moving a decimal place. And yet, 300 million Americans say that it makes no sense. You know who does get it? When I go down to America and hang out with people, the people that get it are anybody that has to do any kind of measuring job. Like I got some buddies that work in a beer brewery, and they're like, we do everything in liters. They do all their work in liters because all they got to do is move decimal places. But when they sell it to the regular people, they have to change it, right? You fill up your 2-liter bottle, and they sell it as 64 ounces. They got to do all the math reversed. You know who else doesn't do anything Imperial but still lives in America? The military. They do everything metric, every single thing. When you see an American guy on TV saying, it's 6 clicks that way, American people think they mean miles, but they don't. They mean kilometers, because it's the sensible way to measure. And even though military intelligence is usually an oxymoron,
Military intelligence. Oh!
Just kidding. The military is not to be made fun of. My English teacher used to always say that. I have a good example of oxymoron. It's military intelligence. Which was weird because he fought in World War II and the Korean War. And I was like, Mr. Hannon, aren't you like a veteran? Yeah, I am, but I was only a regular guy. I wasn't the bosses. So yeah, military intelligence. There isn't a lot. Okay, whatever you say, Mr. Hannon. You're the boss.
Mr. Hannon?
His name was Anthony Hannon, yes.
What if he watches your video?
He's dead.
Oh.
It's okay, guys. He was old. It's not a surprise. It's like when you read in the newspaper, died suddenly in his sleep. How old was he? 99 3/4. That's not a surprise. When an 18-year-old dies in their sleep, that's surprising. When a 99-year-old dies in their sleep. And I can say this with, truth, because I've lost grandparents. And it's just, it wasn't that surprising. It's sad, don't get me wrong. But it's not that surprising. If I don't show up at school one day, and you find out that I died peacefully in my sleep, I don't know where you guys would fit on that. Where would you be on the spectrum of surprise and not?
It's my fault. Not stress.
I'm interested to find out. Maybe I'll do a secret ballot later and find out where you would fit.
It would depend on whether or not there's a replacement.
That hurts, Kayla. I am one of a kind. Which is, of course, a stupid thing to say, because if you understand math, if you tell somebody they're 1 in a million, there's 14,000 of them in China.
You're 1 in 7 billion.
Well, then there's still 1.4 of me in China. Somewhere in China, there's a fat arm and a leg walking around that looks just like mine.
Shoot, that's pretty sick.
That's why I never call my half-brother my half-brother. I just call him my brother, because I don't like the idea of having an arm and a leg for a brother. All right. What are these? SI or... Those are SI, absolutely right. What is a referent? What word do you see in the word referent? Refer? Refer. If you refer to something, what are you doing? Are you talking about it exactly? No. You're referring to it. You were talking about it as if it wasn't there, yes? So, we all could measure a millimeter. I could get out a ruler. I have one right here, handily enough. And on that ruler, there are millimeters. That is an actual thing. A referent is something you would use to guess that distance. Now remember, referents need to be something that everybody understands. So, would it make sense for me to say the referent for a millimeter is 1/64 of an inch? No, exactly. Huh? But if I say a millimeter is about as thick as a fingernail,
Yeah.
we're all cool, right? You can all go, oh, okay, I know what a millimeter is. So when the aliens come down to take over, and you say, you missed me by a millimeter with that laser beam, and they go, what? You say, this much. And they say, oh, and then they move it an inch or a millimeter, and then they vaporize you. So the reference here could be a fingernail. Okay? Now, I'm curious to find out if you guys have any idea how long these things are in real life. What's a referent for a centimeter? A pinky what?
Across.
Okay, so the width of your pinky, because you wouldn't want it to be the length of your pinky. Width of a pinky. Does everybody agree?
It's the size of a centimeter cube.
Okay, so we can all say, oh yeah, okay, that's about a centimeter. Put it down. Oh, I have fat fingers. Mine's actually 1.5 centimeters. So I would go with the depth of my pinky.
The depth.
The depth. Because I like saying PTH together.
The
depth.
depth. The
It's
depth.
fun. You're in the splash zone. I was at SeaWorld this summer. I got splashed.
Cool.
You know what was surprising about the splash zones at SeaWorld, if you go? The killer whales. Oh, I'm sorry. That's so judgmental. The orcas. The orcas don't splash you that much. You know who gets you soaking wet? Those pissant little dolphins. Those dolphins are little pricks. They soaked us. And the pilot whale soaked us too. I didn't even know what a pilot whale was. It looks like a black beluga. Did you know they existed? Me neither.
Wait, was it the murdering SeaWorld or the good SeaWorld? Which one
The
was the
SeaWorld overlooking New York.
Where?
It was the SeaWorld in San Diego, the only SeaWorld that matters.
Was that the? Which
I
one
saw
was
the one in Florida.
Never been to
It
SeaWorld.
has a roller coaster.
It's probably there.
Yeah, so did the best ride I've ever been on is at SeaWorld.
Is it that
San
one
Diego.
where you just like sort of like fly around on the manta ray?
No, that was stupid.
I vote for Marineland.
No, the best ride I've ever been on is called Journey to Atlantis.
That's the one where you go.
It's like a log ride and a roller coaster mixed in one.
And you go in like the
And you do the elevator, yeah. Loved it. Okay, what's a referent for a meter?
Yeah, that's stuck in my head.
arm.
An arm?
An arm.
An arm. Okay, let's see.
A meter stick.
No,
Like this wingspan.
Yeah.
I'm not a I'm like more
half a span. Yeah, it's an arm of about an adult. That's one.
short friend.
An adult arm.
I personally say it's about a step. That's for me. Now we get into trouble. Because ain't no body parts that are 1,000 meters long. So how could you get an idea in your head for how long a kilometer is without actually measuring it? Because you can't measure it. You need it in terms of something else. So what would you do? Leighton? Yeah, you could think how far you could go, how far away you would be if you took 1,000 steps. No problem. So
What if you had 1,000 arms?
that's kind of grody. What else could you do?
Find something that you know the approximate distance of is a kilometer, and just think of that.
Walking 30
Yep.
minutes on Google Maps.
Yeah, I don't know who does the walking times for Google Maps because I think it's somebody who walks on their hands and has a peg arm for how slow those people move. I do not understand. We down in LA, I was like, oh, let's just walk there. 18 minutes, what are you talking about? I look at the map. 2 minutes later, I'm here. I don't get it. But yeah, cool, right? But, Kayla, when you said 18 or 13 minutes on Google Maps, what did you have to do? You had to add a measurement, didn't you?
Oh yeah, like.
What measurement did you add?
Time.
No. Time. You use time as a referent, right? So how far can I walk in 13 minutes? That would be a kilometer. Picking up what I'm putting down? If you're driving your car in the city, what's the speed limit?
So many kilometers, like 60.
It's 50, but everyone drives at least 60,
My
right?
bad, doesn't-
So if you're going to drive 60 kilometers in an hour, how far do you go in a minute? 1 kilometer. So what would be your referent? How far I can drive in a minute? Picking up what I'm putting down? Sweet. Excellent. Relationships, you guys already know these. The meter is the base. How does a centimeter compare to a meter? 1/100th. How does a centiliter compare to a liter? 1/100th. How does a centigram compare to a gram? 1/100th. Excellent. What's milli?
1/10.
1,000th. We're missing one here, aren't we? We already told you what it is. What's missing on this chart? Because this is the 4 we use. What's the one that's missing going downwards?
No,
The 1/10th?
Yeah,
We're
deci.
missing deci. Going upwards, we never use measurements between meters and kilometers, do we? We never do. But there's 2 steps missing there. There's 1,000 there. What's missing? Deca and hecto. Everybody cool? And that makes sense. It's easy to do. Move the decimal place or add a 0. It's not rocket science. Anybody can do it.
Oh, it's hecto.
My buddies that brew beer for a living, which means they're drinking a lot of it too, are able to do this. Now, Imperial. What's an inch?
Width of thumb.
Width of thumb?
No. That can be.
Yeah.
Like one is all
Not my thumb is tiny.
I'd say it's right to the line of my thumb. It's half my thumb. And when I check it, it's almost exactly so. For me. So I say it's about half a thumb. What's a foot?
a Barbie.
A foot.
A Barbie. Because Barbie happens to be a foot tall.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's no good. Now I'm going to risk getting in trouble with the gender police.
Oh no.
Many boys would not be able to, that wouldn't help them,
No.
right? A subway. Excellent.
What if it's a thick bird?
Wow,
What
what
if it's a thick bird?
down to that.
A subway.
How much is a foot?
Exactly. Because where are you from, Lynn? Vietnam.
Dog.
You don't measure anything in feet, do you?
that's dumb.
Because feet are stupid.
Yeah, no.
It's dumb. I personally say a good reference for a foot is a foot.
I don't think my
That's a
foot
big foot.
Oh yeah, I do that too. I always do that.
Almost exactly. And I have small feet.
Besides full
What's your
What's
shoe size?
your shoe size?
We'll buy you shoes.
These are 8s.
like 13.
8. Mine are size 11.
I got small feet. We've covered that. You know what they say about guys with small feet?
What?
Small shoes. All of you were thinking dirty, not me. That's why the joke is funny. Ah, Benjamin just got it. Yeah! Woo! I know. After I explained it twice. Ah! You're like a Muppet.
Oh my god.
All right. So a yard, it's about a step. And a mile,
So it's a rip-off of a meter?
yeah, yards and meters are almost the same. What about a mile? Is it bigger or smaller than a kilometer? Bigger? About how big? Anybody know? It's 1.6, but nobody can multiply. Nobody knows their 16 times table. So most people say it's about 1.5, right? It's 1.609.
Wow.
1,500 steps. Now, here's where it gets weird over on this side. Metric, easy. These morons, idiotic. What would you say is the base there? You're going to call the foot the base? You're going to call the inch the base? There is no base because it's idiotic. If you say that the inch is the base because it's the smallest, then how many inches go to a foot? 12 inches. That's a good number because everyone's good with their 12 times table, right?
Yeah.
Sure they are. What's 12 times 8?
96.
How many others you had it as quickly as him? No, of course not. Because nobody knows the 12 times table because it's stupid.
Except for I'm cheating.
Okay. Oh, we're out of time. Hey, wait. I got a job for you guys to do. Page 12. Do page 12. Huh? Of course I will.
Oh, good. I'm only watching. And that's actually a pretty good joke. That was a pretty good joke. I got it after a bit. I'm like, oh my god.
I keep forgetting that today was a short day. I needed literally 3 more minutes, and then I would have been